The official time is 5:51 a.m. We are on Table Rock Lake for the Moyak stop number 5, Table Rock West, which is a stupid boundaries map in my opinion, but we're gonna win it anyway, so let's get at it.
Bank, I'm sober up, man, we get even time. Rather have loyalty than love, but love that it don't mean that. Let somebody get stuck in the back.
That's number 1 on the Flutter spoon. Get back in there. Number 2 on the spoon. 2 on the spoon. A double on the flutter spin. That's insane right there. That's actually crazy. Oh, by the way, I got a limit, and I think this is a coal. Forgot to update you guys on that. I'm just so locked in right now. It's another coal, by the way, like a half-inch coal. You catching them all?
No.
Huh.
Are you?
I left some there back for you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's tough.
It is for me.
Yeah.
I have one.
Yeah, I have 3. Big tough. Well, good luck. Thank you. Are you guys about to take the jet skis out?
Yeah.
You mind if I fish here right quick?
Yeah, kind on hand.
Thank you.
Just don't hit it.
We'll try to.
There's a crossbar across the back, you know.
Yeah, I caught 2 out of here this morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's pray to God for rain.
I think I got first out of the money. I got first out of the money, I'm pretty sure. First out of the money. Yeah. 79. 78 or 79. I bounced an 18.
I probably should have left the fish out all.
Well, that was that was a fun video. Even though I got 11th out of 66, I believe. It's so hard not to say it wasn't more disappointing than it was fun for a few reasons. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be really real with you guys. When I lost that fish, like I knew that was the difference maker. I knew in my heart, like in my soul, that all I needed for that day was one glide bait bite, and and I would have cut a check. And typically cutting a check isn't that big a deal, right? But I mean, for that specific tournament, you can only get like first place out of the money so many times before there's not that much money left. So yeah, I'm kind of insecure about my spot right now, but I mean, we'll make it through it. Like, I'm confident I'll be fishing the next tournament. Like, I'll find a way. I've been, I have a trip coming up in 2 weeks down to Arkansas, and I'll be fishing a lot of the lakes, and it should be amazing content for you guys. It should be really fun to watch. But that's kind of like where all my money is right now. And like I said, you can only get first place out of the money so many times. I'm not saying necessarily got first place out of the money at Stockton, right? I think I was 6 spots away from it, probably, maybe 7 or 8, but that's only like 2 inches. And I threw a glide bait for like 7 hours, and and that's just part of that deal. And that was completely my fault, right? Because I decided to throw a glide bait for 7 hours, not get a bite at a tournament that didn't take. I think it might have took 80 to win it, maybe, which is not that, it's not that much. That being said, I didn't even hit 80 at this tournament, but yeah, I mean, emotions run high, and emotions will like skew your image of memories and stuff, but I'm almost positive that fish was over 18 and a half that I lost at the boat, right? I mean, you guys get to see it in the water, you guys get to see it hit the boat, you guys get to see everything. I did that on purpose, especially on purpose about me, like, really having a mental breakdown on the water. I know I didn't show too much of it, but I think I showed the important parts. I got I told the story correctly. Whoops. But I feel like I told the story correctly, in that you guys got to see how much I was beating myself up over that. But I mean, you guys gotta just stay locked in when that happens, right? Typically, you should not throw yourself a pity party, right? It doesn't do any good for anybody. But if you are gonna throw yourself a pity party, just do it in between spots, right? Do it when you have, you know, when you're not fishing, right? I mean, you have to, like, for example, hook that one, right? And there was another one with it. I don't know if you guys could see it, but there was another fish with it, and it's kind of the reason I believe. Let me get back on track. You know, there was another fish with it, and if you, okay, let me say something else. In my opinion, and this might be not a replicable fact, but this might be a fact. But in my opinion, like, if an extremely unlikely thing happens, like, the most likely time for it to happen is immediately after. So if you lose a fish on the glide bait and you haven't got bit on it all day, don't throw your rod down. Don't start freaking out. Just immediately throw back in there. You know what I mean? Because it's the most likely. That's the most likely point it can happen again, is immediately after, in my opinion. But yeah, like, if you gotta stay locked in. And I hope it looked like I stayed locked in. I mean, I called 3 more times after I lost that fish. But yeah, let's just say that fish was let's say that fish was 18, right? Let's say it was like 18 and a quarter, 18 and a half. You know, not being generous, being modest, in my opinion. I don't won the tournament by 1.5 inches, right? And my $60 would have turned into a few more entry fees at least. So yeah, I mean, that's just it's just hard to even talk about it right now, because sitting here, I know I'm in a really tough spot for the next tournaments coming up. But I mean, you just gotta stay locked in, right? I mean, everything I hear from all the pros about their stories about, you know, how they came up and cutting their teeth and everything, and it's like, you know, all these successful people on the internet, and this is gonna sound really stupid. That sounded really stupid just saying that right there, but, you know, all these really successful people on the internet are like, I was at my wit's end. I was at my breaking point when I thought everything was gonna, like, I thought, you know, they're at the rock bottom, no light at the end of the tunnel. But, you know, they just kept plugging away. And, you know, it happened. Like, I just keep getting stumbled up with my words, honestly, because this is just such a tough thing to talk about. But yeah, they're like, I was at my breaking point, and then, you know, when I thought I was at my breaking point, you know, I went, and, you know, that's just hoping what's happening here. You know, we're just praying for that YouTube to pick up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's just tough. Like right now, like, I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. Right now, I got less than half a tank in my truck after Table Rock. I got less than half a tank, and I'm really just biding my time till I can go to Arkansas. You know, and hopefully things look better after that. A little vacation, if you will. But yeah, I mean, the next tournaments, actually, let me talk about how I caught them first. So I found a really nice flutter spoon bite. Nice in the sense of it gave me a lot of emotional security to have a limit. And as you guys saw, I culled like twice on one dock, I think. But yeah, I found an amazing flutter spoon bite. Found a semi glide bait bite, but the pressure was changing, so I assumed the bite would also change, which it did. It didn't seem like that for some people though. Some people said they caught them on the glide bait, which I believe. But I was probably just like the wrong creek or something. That's how it usually goes. But I mean, for one day of pre-fish, when typically everybody fishes down there for like a week or so, I feel like I held my own pretty well, even though I should have won it. You know, whoever wins it should win it, obviously. But I had the opportunity to win it. And, you know, I don't know if you guys do this, but I talk to God. Like, I don't say one of the only times I talk to God, but one of the times I talk the most to God is when I'm on the water. And I'm just like, and that day I was like, hey, God, I know, you know, you gave me a limit, and that's really all I ever asked for. But
Like, I just need like one good glide bait bite, you know, and I'm sure everything will be all right. And I mean, he gave it to me, like in my hands. Like I could have touched that fish if I wanted to. And you know, in the moment, like I think I put it in there when I was like, why did I do that? And it was I was referencing why I didn't grab the net. You know, and it's like, oh, I'm sitting down, right? It's hard to get the net. I have my graph there, blah, 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 blah. The fish hit within like 10 foot of the boat, had one hook. You know, I can see all this stuff, and it's like blah, 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 blah. What it really comes down to is I decided to boat flip the fish when I have a net. When I'm using a treble hooked bait, that's like 1.5 ounces, maybe. Right? It's just decision making skills. You know, I'm only 20 years old. I say only. I'm 20 years old, which isn't, you know, typically people, I'd like to say a lot of people have more skin in the game than I do, but that's probably not the truth. You know, I should be smarter than that. I should really be making better decisions. But yeah, so I found that glide bait bite, and it was popping off a little bit in the morning, missed one, like first 3 casts and missed one. And I saw that fish and I was like, okay, that's one of our glide bait bites. I'm sure more will come up through the day. Didn't really work out like that. And then I was like, okay, we have to get limit. Let's go throw the flutter spin. Saw fish busting out in front of the dock, caught the first flutter spin fish on. Ignored them because they're too far away. You can't chase fish in a kayak, especially when you don't have live scope on your kayak. But yeah, saw the busting fish, caught one out of the dock. They busted a little closer than last time. Cast the flutter spin over there, pop, 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 pop. 15 and something, right? Boat flip. Fish a few docks. See, it's not really popping off in that area. Go to my one dock that I knew had fish, or I knew had like a lot of fish. Went over there, got a double first thing. Hit another dock to give them a break. Came back, finished out my limit, called cup twice. Hooked a shirt. Imagine I blew out that spot because I went over it with my trolling motor and brought a shirt through the entire water column where I imagined they were. So I was like, okay, we're not playing with that anymore. I probably can't cull up that much on this dock, but I knew there was a limit there at least. You know, lied to that one guy as I was going out of there because I really didn't want him going to that dock that he knew I was fishing for the past like 40 minutes. Hopefully, you know, I imagine he's not gonna catch fish there, even though I was lying to him. But, you know, and then went to another creek that I imagined the glide bait would be good in because it historically is, and all the signs were there. You know, I probably just got there a little bit late though. Honestly, I probably just got there a little bit late, like 20 minutes late maybe, because of the sun and everything. But, you know, lost that fish, and then I was like, okay, I mentally can't handle throwing the glide bait anymore. And, I just can't deal with the possibility of losing another giant fish after working so hard for another opportunity, right? So I was like, okay, where do fish go when there's 50 wake boats out on the lake and the water's 80 degrees? Personally, I would go to the coldest water, the most accessible water out of that creek, which happened to be a 45-degree bank into a bluff transition. You know, caught a few there, missed a few bites, which can't really do anything about if they're just grabbing your trailer, right? Yeah, and then, you know, and then loaded up, finished out in 11th. As you guys saw at the ramp, I was talking to a guy and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I got first out of the money, which I got like 4th or 5th out of the money. But like I said, I had a fish that would at least have put me in the money. I'd 78 inches even, and it took like 80.5 to get there, to get a check, I mean, and you know, I had like a 13 3/4 to call out. So that was extremely reasonable to do with that fish. But yeah, I mean, that one hit really hard. And like, this is a few days after. I just needed some time to compose my thoughts, really. And you know, like, yeah, I just need time to compose my thoughts, because it's a tough one, dude. I mean, it's tough when you can't fish. I say can't fish anymore, but it's tough when you can't really, I'm sure you guys get it. I'm sure you guys understand what I'm saying. But yeah, the next tournament's at Poplar Bluff, and there's like 5, 6, 7, 8 to 12 areas you can fish, which I don't really like the thought of, but I found a pretty good one, I think. My best bud's coming back from New Zealand, and that, you know, that's who we're going to Arkansas with. You know, the best bud's coming back from New Zealand. Hopefully he'll fish that with me. And you know, there's a little like side pot / team trail at Moyak, which you can fish with a buddy, and it's like the 2 highest combined scores win. And at Table Rock, it was like 112 or something. And keep in mind, it took like 83, 84 to win, I think, maybe 82. So I'm not calling everybody, you know, I'm not saying those people are bad at fishing, but if me and my boy hop in as a team, like almost guaranteed we're both gonna get top 10, especially if we pre-fish more than one day somewhere. So I see that. I don't see that. I'm not gonna say that's easy money, but seems like easy money. But yeah, that's just a really tough one. Just a really tough one. Hard to think about. Really hard to think about. But I really appreciate you guys' support. You know, just watching the videos and stuff, like liking the videos. It makes this an easier pill to swallow. And I hope that the stuff I'm putting out I hope that you like the stuff, honestly. Like, I don't think that many people throw the flutter spin in the kayak, right? And that's, I'm not really trying to give out my secrets or anything, but it's nice to broaden the community's perspective on fishing as a whole. Especially like offshore kayak fishing, unless you have live scope, which in my opinion, the people that live scope in the kayak probably aren't live scoping at their full capability or at the live scope's full capability, right? Because they just more than likely haven't covered enough, like as much water as I have in the boat, right? And seen like the amount of things I've seen on live scope, if that makes sense. You know, just time on the water. They probably don't have as much time on the water as most boat guys do with live scope. So, you know, and I don't know if I've mentioned this, but live scope won the tournament, and it's like, it's like, if I see live scope win a tournament, it's like, if I see live scope win a tournament and I'm not competitive in that tournament, it's like, okay, I should get live scope in my kayak finally. But in my opinion, I had the capability to win that tournament. So do I really want to put live scope on the kayak? Kind of feel like I'm forced to if I want a guaranteed shot at winning money. But oh yeah, like I was saying, offshore fishing in the kayak community doesn't seem like it's as common as it should be, right? Like I saw 90% of the people I saw that day up on the bank, just bank beating. And I don't know if you guys saw from the bluff or also, you know, observed this from how many fish were on docks that day and my day in pre-fish. But I mean, they're mostly offshore. And that's what happens when there's a shad spawn and there's no bushes in the water. You know, they just, you know, they relate to like the docks to use as cover to spawn on. So the shad will inherently be off the bank, and then what happens when the sun gets up and the fish don't want to look, the bass don't want to look up anymore, they go deep. So yeah, so I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, but it feels like kayak fishermen it seems like they don't think of offshore fishing as like a true option, really. Seems like they're just always on the bank. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you. It's a hard one to make, and it's really, I don't know if I want to say it's against my nature to talk openly to the camera like this, but it definitely makes me feel weak, I guess, right? Like, I guess that's not really the right way to put it, but it makes me feel strange letting you guys know I'm having a hard time. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. And like, look forward to the Arkansas stuff. That stuff's gonna be hype. We're gonna go, I'm really excited to catch like a 40-pound striper below Ouachita Dam. That's an exciting thing to me because I've never caught a striper. And like the concept of a 40-pound fish eating a glide bait and then pulling me around in my kayak is just super exciting. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have any suggestions, like I said, like I'm pretty sure at this point, people are satisfied with the camera angle I'm using, so I won't say that anymore. But yeah, I have people ask me or have people suggest that I should say like the colors and stuff I'm using in my videos. And it's like, honestly, I feel like I could catch a fish on, let me show you guys for an example. So this is the exact jig I was catching them on at Table Rock on that bluff, right? The exact jig. If I tied this jig on and just put like a double-tailed craw imitation trailer on the back of it, I have the same amount of confidence in these two baits. Unless you're contrasting or comparing a white swim jig to a black and blue flipping jig, I really think you can catch I don't think color matters that much. But yeah, that's yeah, it's just, I'm stumbling over my words right now, getting caught talking up. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you.